and he just came off a win. You should have watched on MMAJunkie.com. Cage Warriors 49. He defeated Bruno Carvalho via unanimous decision. Let's bring on our friend from Ireland. What's going on, Cathal?
What's going on, guys?
Not much. Welcome to MMA Junkie Radio. Pleasure to have you
Uh,
on. George goes, John over here. How you doing over there?
I'm great, bro. Great, bro. Still living on a high after my win.
Yeah, congratulations on that. Cage Warriors 49 and MMAJunkie.com. We saw you do your thing.
Yeah, yeah. I was taking on a tough guy, Brazilian guy, BJJ black belt, Bruno Carvalho. It was a tough fight, and it was a title eliminator. So I did the job, and I got my title shot finally.
How long do those highs last, Cathal? This has been a couple of weeks removed, but you're still feeling good about the win. But after your fights, how long does it take you to come down and realize, okay, that job's done. What's next?
I usually take a couple of days off, away from the gym, eat some bad food, and then I'm usually back in the gym 4 or 5 days later, planning on what's next. So there's no planning this time. I know I've been given a title shot anyway against Gael Grimard. He's the French guy. He's the champion of the welterweight champion of Cage Warriors. So I've been chasing this fight for a while. He's been ducking me and dodging me, and I should be the champion. I'm the more deserving guy. I've got 5 fights with Cage Warriors. I'm undefeated. This guy's only had 2 fights. And the last 2 guys I fought are better, more dangerous than this guy. So I'm very confident going into this fight. And looking forward to taking that belt off him.
How long has he been ducking and dodging?
Well, I've been calling him out for the last year maybe, and I can't get a hold of him. Like he's fighting bums. He's fighting. Last guy he fought had a losing record, and he seems to be just padding the record up, trying to get signed by the UFC. But he's also his record is pretty much, I'd call it a fake record, because it's made up of all these fights. He's from France, and MMA is not legal yet in France, so they have what they do is they have kickboxing fights, and then you can take them down, but there's no shots on the ground. It's just grappling. So like half his fights are made up of these fights, and I wouldn't consider them professional MMA fights. I had fights like that where there's no strikes on the ground. We call that amateur over here in Ireland.
Cage Warriors 50 and 51 are happening this year. This fight won't take place this year, though, right?
Yeah, no, it won't be this year. See what happens. Or you never know. I might have Dane on the phone to me before then, so we'll see. I know there's a lot of the UFC is crying out for a couple of big name Irish fighters, and there's plenty here on the door. So I'm just waiting by the phone, and hopefully I know the UFC so they'll be coming back to Ireland in 2014. I'm not waiting that long though. Maybe they said next year there's an event in Boston. I wouldn't mind on that because I was actually born in Boston, so
Right.
it'd be pretty cool to get on that show. I know that there's a huge Irish American population in Boston, so that's very cool.
So first things first, your timeline would like to be you capturing the gold at Cage Warriors, and then if there's a UFC card later on and it's time for you to make your move over, then you'd love to be on that card in Boston at some point.
Yeah, that's exactly. I like to plan out things, and if I was to make a plan out for next year, it'd be first things first is get that gold off Gael Mod, and then put pen to paper on a UFC contract. Have my debut in Boston, and then rock on from there. Climb the ladder in the UFC welterweight division.
At what age did you move? Did your family move from Boston to Ireland?
It was just before I think I turned 5. I think so. I've been gone a while. I've been back and forth to the States, but I haven't been back to Boston yet. So even though I left pretty early on, I missed it. It'd be great to go back there and make my UFC debut. It'd be very cool.
What led you to be a mixed martial artist?
Well, actually, I didn't start till I was about 19. I moved over to San Diego. When I left school, I went over there for a year and was loads of gyms over there. And I'd always watched UFC, but I'd never seen gyms around in Ireland, in Dublin. So when I saw a gym in San Diego, I went in, started training, and I loved it. I came home from San Diego, and I found a gym in Dublin, and just went 100% committed to it, and turned pro about a year and a half later.
So you always knew you wanted to be involved in combat sports at some point?
Well, I was always interested in it. I didn't know until I started doing until I started training when I was about 19. But the second I did my first MMA class, I knew this is what I wanted to do, and went for it.
Something tells me that when you were on the rugby pitch, you didn't hesitate to, you didn't back away from any fisticuffs, right?
No. That was what I loved about the rugby. I loved the fisticuffs. So it's kind of a blessing then when I found the MMA.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I loved it.
I see that a lot with the fighters in American football as well. You can just tell some of them guys have that nasty streak. You know what I mean? That they I guess they kind of get off on it a little bit, intimidating or whatever. But you know that if you were to put on some gloves on them and put them in combat sports, they'd excel there as well.
Yeah, that's it. I just love to fight, and I mean, like you said, in any sport, if there's guys getting in each other's faces, they be disagreement. How do you settle it? You settle with a fight. So MMA just takes out all the bullshit, and it just takes away. There's no footballs. There's no
Referees and whistles. I got you. Share.
One guy against another. That's the purest form of sport. I find that's what I dig about it.
Share a good street fight story from the mean streets of Dublin, Ireland, with our audience. You have any?
There's too many, man. Too many. You know, the Irish say it. They love to drink and fight. They're our favourite pastime. So you should come over here some night and go to a bar and come out at 3 o'clock in the morning. You can watch it's like a pay-per-view card of fights.
Wow. See, that's just my thing. I'm not a big fan of that myself because I'm not too good at it. I don't mind going down there and partaking in the pints part, but then when that's all over, just get me a nice little safe seat and I'll watch the rest of you throw down.
I'm only pulling your leg. It's not that bad. But
Cathal, what else do you like to do aside from mixed martial arts?
At the moment, I'm spending too much time in the gym to do too much else. But I enjoy watching other sports, you know, rugby, soccer.
What team do you support?
Football.
Yeah.
Man United. I was big into Man United when I was younger. My brother's a huge Man United fan as well, so I don't watch too much these days. But my brother's always filling me in on how things are going down.
Oh, you haven't been watching? Well, they're at the top of the Premier League. Just to give
I know that much. I saw Hernandez go a hat-trick there at the weekend.
Man City and Chelsea are trailing behind. Liverpool's way down there. Man, West Ham United's looking pretty good, though.
Yeah, Man United looking good. They look like, on paper, Man City might have a better team, but Man United look like a more collective unit, you know. They're playing well together, so it's looking good. Things are crumbling in City, and Chelsea are falling apart. It looks like they've lost John Terry there, so I reckon the next few weeks, they could stretch their lead.
Yeah. Did you, when you were younger, did you like the Red Sox, the Celtics, the Patriots?
I liked the Celtics. I was probably too young to understand baseball when I was living in Boston, but I definitely remember used to watch Celtics games. So I'm looking forward to. I really want to get back over to Boston as well. It'd be great if we could go over to make my UFC debut there. I'd like to go over do a bit of training, maybe Mark De La Grada or something. I've gone back the last couple of years to do some training over in California in AKA, but I'd love to go East Coast, and especially Boston, and do some training.
Did you enjoy your time at AKA? That's one of the quality gyms here on the West.
Yeah, it was very cool. That was the reason I went there, was because they're such high caliber wrestlers, and that's one thing they say about Europeans is they don't have the wrestling credentials to make to the top of the MMA game. But I went over there, and there was NCAA champions and all sorts, and mixing it up with these guys, and it was a great confidence booster. You know, a lot of UFC guys, especially welterweight. Well, there was Koscheck's with and a few other guys, but there was a lot of guys there at the time, and I was sparring with these guys. It was great.
Cathal, so does it look like Cage Warriors 52 is where when you'll be fighting? Have they given you a date on that?
They haven't given me a date yet. I know there's one. There's an event on in Dublin on New Year's Eve, and I think there's 6 of my teammates fighting on that already. But I don't think that I'll be on that because there's already 2 title fights on it. So I don't think they're going to put a third on it. I reckon it'll probably be early next year, like late January or February, I'd say. But I haven't heard yet.
And sticking with the welterweight theme, can you give us a prediction for GSP versus Carlos Condit this Saturday night?
Everyone's asking me. I reckon if the GSP is back and he's physically in peak condition like it was before, and he's mentally, if the injury hasn't affected him mentally, I think he'll do his thing and win by decision. But if it's affected him at all, if he's thinking about it, even thinking about his injury while he's in there, you know, it's going to affect him, and Conda could shock him.
Have you ever had a serious knee injury like that, or any type of serious knee injury at all?
Yeah, actually, I hurt my knee when I was over in MK last year, on the last day of training.
Oh wow!
I hurt. It wasn't as bad. It was MCL, so I think he did his ACL, which is a lot worse.
And it stays with you mentally for a while. It takes a while to overcome.
Yeah, a little bit, especially when you're getting back into training. You know, you're kind of it's in your mind and you're protecting it. I felt you're not even performing. It takes a while to just build up your confidence before you're even performing at your best. But then you get over it. And I'm sure GSP obviously has got over that part where he's back in the gym and he's not thinking about it anymore. But I'm just wondering when he gets into the cage, when he gets into the octagon on Saturday, will he be thinking about it? But I'm sure he's not. He's got the big books paying these sports psychologists and everything to make sure his head is right. So I'd say GSP is back to his best, and most likely he'll be staying the champ.
All right, Cathal. Well, thank you very much for the time. I'm going to let everybody know they can follow you on Twitter at Pendred MMA. Folks, this is one of the top Irish MMA fighters in the world, and I think there's some big days coming ahead for him, including a championship bout at Cage Warriors in 2013. Cathal, thank you very much for the time. We'll have to do this again sometime.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
All right, cheers. All right, folks, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk some MMA. We'll be right back.